What if I told you that a small part of you isn't fully modern human? Sounds wild, right? But it's 100% true. Deep inside your DNA, you could be carrying ancient genetic material from a mysterious species that once walked the earth alongside us, the Neanderthals. These ancient relatives lived tens of thousands of years ago in Europe and parts of Asia, and at some point our ancestors met them, lived with them, and yes, even had children with them. As a result, people today, especially those of non-African descent, carry between 1% to 4% Neanderthal DNA in their genome. And here's the crazy part: that small percentage might be influencing you more than you think. From the way your hair grows, to your sleep cycle, immune system, even your pain tolerance and mental health, Neanderthal genes may still be shaping your life in subtle, fascinating ways. It's like having an ancient fingerprint stamped across your biology. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 scientifically proven signs that you may have inherited some of this prehistoric legacy. These aren't myths or internet rumors. Every point is backed by real genetic research and evolutionary science. And I promise, sign number 7 is something you definitely don't want to miss. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's journey back in time through your very own DNA to see just how much of you is a little Neanderthal. Let's get started. What if the reflection staring back at you in the mirror wasn't entirely modern human? Tens of thousands of years ago, long before cities, smartphones, or even farming, another species of human walked the earth. Neanderthals. They weren't just cavemen grunting in the cold. They hunted, crafted tools, wore clothes, used fire, and even buried their dead. They were intelligent, resilient, and biologically close to us. So close, in fact, that when modern Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa and encountered them in Europe and Asia, something incredible happened. They interbred. Yes, our ancestors and Neanderthals had children together, and those children passed down DNA that still exists today. Fast forward to now, and thanks to modern genetics, scientists have discovered that most people of non-African descent carry between 1 to 4% Neanderthal DNA in their genomes. That may sound small, but it's enough to leave a noticeable imprint. This DNA doesn't just sit quietly in your body. It can influence how your skin reacts to sunlight, how your body fights infections, how your hair grows, how deeply you sleep, even how much pain you feel. So what does this mean for you? Could the reason you tan easily, sneeze more, or feel pain differently actually be a legacy from an ancient human species? As we dive deeper, we'll explore 7 science-backed signs that Neanderthals may have left their mark on you. Let's start with the first one you might see every time you comb your hair. Have you ever noticed your hair seems unusually straight? Maybe you've never had a cowlick or those strange circular hair whirls that make styling a nightmare. Believe it or not, that might not be a coincidence. It could be a Neanderthal trait. Researchers analyzing ancient genomes found that certain keratin-related genes, keratin being the protein that makes up your hair and skin, were passed down from Neanderthals. These genes influence how hair grows and feels. One specific gene variant has been linked to straighter hair and reduced whirl patterns, especially in people of East Asian or European descent. So why did Neanderthals have this trait? Well, think about the Ice Age climate they lived in. Thick, straight hair helped trap heat better than curly hair, protecting them from bitter cold. Over time, this hair type became a survival advantage and was passed down through generations. Now here's the twist. Modern humans that migrated into colder regions also inherited this DNA. Not everyone got it, but if your hair is naturally pin-straight, lays flat, or resists curling, you might just be carrying this prehistoric adaptation. Some researchers also found that this genetic variant helps create stronger skin barriers, which again was likely beneficial in icy environments. So next time someone compliments your sleek, easy-to-manage hair, just smile and say, "Thanks, it runs in the ancient family." But while hair can be a visible sign of your ancient roots, the next one lies deeper in how you feel pain. Do you ever feel like you experience pain more intensely than others? Like a paper cut feels like a dagger? Or a cold breeze hits your skin and it just stings more than it should? You might be carrying an ancient Neanderthal pain gene, and science backs it up. The culprit, a gene called SCN9A. This gene plays a crucial role in the way your body senses pain. A specific Neanderthal variant of SCN9A affects the sodium channels in nerve cells, making them more excitable, which means your nervous system reacts more strongly to pain stimuli. But why would Neanderthals evolve to feel more pain? Well, one theory suggests this was actually a survival advantage. In brutally cold environments like Ice Age Europe, heightened pain sensitivity may have helped them detect injuries faster, avoid frostbite, or be more aware of harmful conditions, giving them an evolutionary edge. But in today's world, that same trait might make you more sensitive than average. Studies from the Max Planck Institute and University College London found that people with this gene variant reported greater pain perception across multiple categories: thermal, pressure, even chemical pain. And get this, some individuals carry multiple Neanderthal variants, amplifying the effect. So if you've always felt like you're too sensitive, it might not be all in your head. It might be in your DNA. And we're just getting started. The next signs are even more personal. How you sleep, how your immune system reacts, and how you see the world could all carry ancient clues. Stay with me. Ever find yourself wide awake at 2 a.m. while the rest of the world sleeps? Do you struggle to fall asleep on time or feel totally out of sync with modern work hours? This might not just be lifestyle or stress. It could be ancient DNA whispering from your genes. Recent studies show that certain Neanderthal genetic variants affect our circadian rhythm, that is, the internal clock that regulates when we sleep and wake. Scientists found that modern humans who carry these variants are more likely to experience insomnia, feel energized at night, or have trouble adjusting to standard 9-to-5 schedules. But why would this be a trait passed down? Here's where it gets fascinating. Neanderthals lived in Europe and Northern Asia, regions that, especially in winter, have long nights and short days. So being a night owl, or being naturally alert in darkness, might have given them an edge for night hunting, keeping watch, or conserving energy during extreme conditions. Fast forward to today, and this adaptation clashes with our artificial lighting, shift work, and digital distractions. The result? Many people with this DNA struggle with sleep disorders, jet lag, or delayed sleep phase syndrome. According to a 2021 genetic analysis from Stanford University, people with these Neanderthal variants were also less likely to be morning people and more likely to suffer from sleep inconsistency. So the next time you're tossing and turning, remember, your sleep troubles might not be a modern problem. They could be a leftover trait from ancient survival. And as you'll see next, Neanderthal DNA doesn't just affect your sleep, it might be supercharging your immune system, but at a cost. Do you get sick less often than your friends, but also suffer from allergies or odd inflammatory reactions? This paradox, super strong immunity paired with random sensitivities, could be a sign of your Neanderthal inheritance. When modern humans met Neanderthals, they weren't just meeting a new species, they were entering a new environment with new pathogens. Neanderthals, having lived in Europe and Asia for hundreds of thousands of years, had already adapted to many of these local diseases. When interbreeding occurred, modern humans inherited some of these powerful immune gene variants. According to groundbreaking research from the Max Planck Institute and the Pasteur Institute, these ancient genes, particularly those affecting toll-like receptors, help your body detect and fight off bacteria and viruses more efficiently. In fact, some people today have Neanderthal-derived immune responses that are more aggressive than typical human genes. Sounds great, right? Well, not entirely. This hyperactive immune system can backfire. The same genes that help you fight infections can also trigger overreactions, like seasonal allergies, skin conditions, or even autoimmune diseases, where your body attacks itself. In short, Neanderthal DNA may make you a warrior against viruses, but sometimes that warrior doesn't know when to put the sword down. So if you rarely catch colds, but carry an EpiPen for peanut dust, or if you beat the flu like a champ, but break out in hives from dust mites, your DNA might be echoing a battle plan written by your ancient cousins. But immunity isn't the only area where their legacy lingers. Up next, we take a deep dive into the mind, where ancient genes may influence how you feel every single day. Have you ever felt like your emotions swing from high to low for no clear reason? Or struggled with anxiety, depression, or mood imbalance, even when life seems okay? This next sign might surprise you, and it's rooted in your evolutionary past. Several studies, including one published in Science by researchers at the Max Planck Institute, have revealed genetic links between Neanderthal DNA and mental health risks. Specifically, people with certain Neanderthal variants are more prone to mood disorders such as depression, anxiety, and even bipolar tendencies. Why would these genes have survived for so long? Well, think about the world Neanderthals lived in. Harsh winters, dangerous predators, low food supply, and constant uncertainty. These extreme conditions may have shaped brain chemistry that favored hyper-awareness, emotional sensitivity, or cautious behavior, all traits that could keep you alive in unpredictable environments. But in today's world, that same genetic wiring can tip over into emotional instability or chronic mood issues. For example, some variants affect how serotonin is processed, the brain chemical responsible for happiness and emotional regulation. Others influence your brain's stress response system, making you more reactive to environmental stressors. In modern society, where saber-toothed tigers are no longer a threat, this ancient sensitivity can manifest as mental health struggles. So if you've ever felt like your emotional baseline is heavier than others, it might not be weakness. It might be an evolutionary strength misfiring in a modern world. And we still have two major signs left to explore, including one that affects how your body stores fat and how your face is shaped. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Ever wondered why some people tan effortlessly while others burn in minutes? Or why lighter skin, hair, or eyes are more common in certain regions? The answer could lie in a prehistoric genetic gift straight from the Neanderthals. When modern humans first migrated out of Africa and into Europe and Asia, they encountered drastically lower levels of sunlight. And along with interbreeding with Neanderthals, they inherited genes that helped their bodies adapt to these new, dimmer climates. One of those genes, SLC24A5. This gene plays a crucial role in melanin production, which affects skin and hair pigmentation. Variants of this gene, found in many people of non-African descent, are strongly linked to lighter skin, blonde or red hair, and light eye colors, traits that helped early humans absorb more UV light to produce vitamin D in sun-starved regions. But here's the cool twist. Some of these variants trace directly back to Neanderthals. It's not just about color, though. People with these Neanderthal variants often tan more easily or burn less, thanks to their skin's ability to respond to UV exposure efficiently. Again, a survival strategy in colder climates with weaker sunlight. And while these features are now seen as aesthetic, back then they were about survival. Your skin tone, hair color, and how you respond to sunlight may be ancient clues to a genetic story that began tens of thousands of years ago. So next time you catch a golden tan without even trying, just know it might be your Neanderthal ancestors showing off a bit. But that's not all. Sometimes those ancient features show up not just in your skin, but right on your face. Take a good look in the mirror. Do you have a broad nose, a strong brow ridge, or prominent cheekbones? If so, your face might be telling a story that started over 40,000 years ago with Neanderthals. While modern humans and Neanderthals share 99.7% of their DNA, their physical features were quite distinct. Neanderthals had larger skulls, wider noses, and stronger bone structures. Adaptations for surviving in harsh, cold environments where conserving heat was critical. And surprisingly, traces of these features still show up today. Recent studies, including one published in Science Advances, found that certain facial traits, like mid-facial projection, a forward-facing face, a wider nasal bridge, or deep-set eyes, are statistically linked to Neanderthal gene variants. Don't worry, this doesn't mean you look like a caveman. These traits are subtle, and they appear in millions of people around the world. You might never have guessed their origin until now. For example, a broad nose helps humidify and warm cold air before it reaches the lungs. A strong brow ridge might have helped reinforce skull structure, and that sharp jawline could be a mix of both modern and ancient genetics at play. So if people have ever told you that you have a striking face or strong features, you may just be carrying a visible link to ancient humans who survived Ice Age winters with nothing but fire, fur, and instinct. And now that you've learned all 7 signs, the real question is, how do you actually know if you carry Neanderthal DNA? So, after hearing all these signs, you're probably wondering, do I actually have Neanderthal DNA? Is there a way to find out for sure? The answer is yes, and it's easier than you might think. Today, several consumer DNA testing services like 23andMe and Ancestry DNA offer reports that measure how much Neanderthal DNA you carry. In fact, 23andMe even tells you how many Neanderthal variants you have compared to the average population. Most people of non-African descent carry between 1% and 4% Neanderthal DNA. That might not sound like much, but remember, your DNA is made up of billions of base pairs. Even a small percentage can influence traits like pain sensitivity, sleep patterns, or immune responses. Here's how it works. These tests analyze specific locations in your genome, called SNPs, short for single nucleotide polymorphisms. These are tiny markers that vary from person to person and can indicate whether a specific Neanderthal gene variant is present. For example, if you carry a SNP that affects the SCN9A gene, you may experience more pain. If you have a variant near the SLC24A5 gene, your skin tone might reflect that ancestry. These little markers act like breadcrumbs, revealing a trail of ancient DNA that's still active in your body today. So if you're curious, a simple cheek swab or saliva sample might reveal how deeply your roots go, not just to recent ancestors, but to a time before history began. Now let's bring all this together, and trust me, what we reveal in the conclusion might just change how you see yourself forever. It's easy to think of Neanderthals as long-gone cave dwellers with little relevance to our modern lives, but here's the truth. They're not just part of our past, they're part of us. That small percentage of Neanderthal DNA, those few ancient genes, remind us of something profound. We are not the first version of humanity, and we won't be the last. Evolution isn't a straight line, it's a beautiful tangled web of survival, adaptation, and connection. You see, when modern humans met Neanderthals tens of thousands of years ago, they didn't just compete, they connected. They shared fire, shelter, maybe even love, and yes, DNA. And from that exchange, something extraordinary happened. You, whether it's your ability to stay up all night, your strong immune system, your facial structure, or how you respond to pain, these traits aren't random. They're the echoes of ancestors who faced ice ages, hunted mammoths, and found a way to live in the harshest corners of the world. Understanding this connection doesn't make us less human, it makes us more complete. It shows us how deeply our species is shaped by the past, and how genetic diversity, even from extinct relatives, makes us more adaptable, more interesting, and more resilient. So next time someone calls you a caveman as a joke, smile. They might be more right than they know. So, did you recognize any of these signs in yourself? If yes, you might just be part Neanderthal, just like millions of others walking around today. Hit that like button if you learned something new, share this video with your most prehistoric friend, and subscribe for more mind-blowing science you definitely didn't learn in school. This is the story of all of us, told through the code that's written in our bones. See you in the next one.